Hey folks, Ben from Smoking On Confessions here. I'm at the Bangalow Bluegrass Festival here, and we're having a great time. It's a ripper of a day out. I've got Matthew from Where There's Smoke, There's Dinner here, and he's got a fantastic steampunked customized Yoder here. We're gonna have a bit of a talk about about his cook, about how it's been going, and then he's gonna walk us through what he's done to this thing. Mate, how's the festival been for you?
Oh, it's excellent. So the weather's been fantastic, unlike 4 years ago where I think it snowed here. But no, the weather's really good. The crowd, fantastic, and all the barbecue teams, great bunch of people, fantastic bunch of people.
It is, mate, it's good, and it's nice to see everybody all out together raising money for the local school too, which is good.
Yeah, and I believe also the drought as well. The farmers in the drought copping their share too as well.
They are having a rough time right now, yeah. So what I wanted to talk about was this beautiful Yoder here. Can you give us a bit of an idea of what it started as and what it is now?
Well, it started off as a Wichita Yoder. It was an off-the-shelf Yoder. When you buy it like that, it doesn't come with too many accessories. So I thought, you know, for me I bring it here on the back of my ute, and I needed a crane to do that. And so the first thing I had to do was put lifting lugs up onto the top of the ute. And that started the ball rolling, and then I thought, well, what else can I do? And I did some internal changes. I put a water tank underneath the main grill plate, and I can fill that from the outside, and I can show you all that later. But as it evolved, I started looking at steampunk stuff. It's an era of the 1800s, the Victorian era, where engineered machinery was made to last. It was over-designed, but it was also made with an artistic flair. And I really liked that, and I thought I might be able to incorporate some of that here. Every single part on here has been handmade. There's nothing off the shelf, and it's taken me about 6 months, every weekend for about 6 months, and a few nights a week as well.
Sounds amazing, mate. Absolutely dedication to detail. So can you run me through some of the mods that you've made?
Yeah, so on the front side here, I removed the old steel spike that came down to the counterweight, and I replaced them with these steampunked brackets. I thought I'd better relate it to Yoder because it was a Yoder once, and steampunked is the design, so I used a bit of art to put that on there. This is a normal desktop lamp which has been steampunked, so I've made the awning up, and it's got a little LED light in it, and that works, and it pivots down. I can check the whole pit out during the cook. I put a tray on here. Sometimes we want to warm things up, so get it out the road when I'm wheeling it in and out of the gate to get it on the truck. That's just made out of normal copper tube, plumber's tube, so all silver soldered together. I've recently had some laser cut wheel trims done, and I made the centre stainless steel spaces up just to give it that steampunk look as well. Stop those discs from coming off, coming adrift. I put a standard shelf up above the original one and didn't have enough shelving on it, very poorly designed from Yoder. So if you come this way, it's got a 65 litre water tank on it. It's made of 316 marine grade stainless steel, so that's for potable water. So, and you can see here it gets quite hot. It'll get to 100 degrees and just stay there for the whole cook. And we can have hot water for coffee, brews all night long.
Love it.
And obviously the washing up, which, you know, it consumes a lot of water, this sort of competition. Put a spacer plate on the front for two purposes. One, to stop the little kiddies touching the 100-degree hot plate behind it, and also it insulates the box a bit, and the water stays hotter a bit longer. All right, so down the back end here, have and this is a artillery shell off the HMAS Parramatta. It was my brother's ship that he served on when he was in the Navy. He brought this home and said, here, have one of my rifle bullets. And I've converted this into a toolkit. So it has all the necessary nuts and bolts and springs and washers and all that sort of stuff, because there's a little bit of fine tuning in some of the other components. I just welded plates on that and copper fitted that on top of that. On the back end here, I've put a gate valve handle with a locking lever, so I can set the locking position for the draft, for the air to flow through the firebox. This warming tray here lifts up, so yeah, you can warm your cuts or meals or whatever. And I put a barbecue plate on top here for cooking up the bacon and eggs in the morning. Works really well. I put a Steam Punked umbrella on it, so I stripped down an umbrella and just painted it gold and had these lights hung on it, and it gives great light throughout the night, so it just sort of gives that extra steampunk look.
It is very cool.
Yeah, so if you come around the front here then, we've got this section of pipe here is for cold smoking. So I've got a little Jack Daniels tin that I put a little fire in and put some oak or something like that in, and it'll I got a fish pump as well, and the fish pump just pumps the smoke in there, so you don't have the heat coming with it. And then over here is the working end. So this is an outside thermometer, just gives us the area temperature out here. And then the working mechanism here, inside this chimney is a choke. And I can control the choke with this little tap handle here. Again, typical steampunk, over-engineered and built for art. And of course we have a grand central timepiece at the front. The rest of the decorations is a bit of scroll work here and there. But this little container here, this pipe here, it actually fills the water tank on the inside. So I can fill it from the outside, so I don't have to open it up and lose the heat. And once the level comes up too high, it'll actually overflow on the outside and not the inside.
Very clever.
So it doesn't quench the inside of the chamber. And around the front I got my Ace of Spades bottle opener. Opened a few cans this weekend and drinks. And the last thing is right around the front is a 1942 fire extinguisher off a Blitz army truck.
Oh wow.
So, and it works. So you can undo the whole thing just spring loaded on there. That cap comes off, fill it full of water. It's like a big super sober. And I thought I'd do a little bit of artistic flair on top here. So I cut and ground down a chunk of steel, a pretty big chunk of steel, to make this crown up for the top of the chimney. And that's about it.
Mate, it's very obvious that you are seriously in love with this smoker, and the work and the love and the care that you put into it is obvious. Thank you so much for taking the time today to show me around and explain everything, and it is very, very impressive.
Excellent. All right, thanks for the time. Excellent. Thank you. Bye.